What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to go through a little bit of Lightroom. I'm going to try to edit this picture here. I'll bring you guys over there in a second. I'm going to try to do some backgrounds a little bit brighter than the car. I'm going to try to do a little bit more advanced Photoshop. At least it's advanced for me because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to try Lightroom first and we're going to see how it turns out. We'll jump over here. I'll come back to you guys in a second. I may jump back and forth because I have no idea what I'm doing. So we're going to see how it turns out. Cool. Alright, so here we are in Lightroom. Took this picture driving home the other day. Saw this really cool sunset. Just pulled over in a quick church parking lot just to see if I can get a good shot of everything. Looking back, I probably should have bracketed everything, which means getting an exposure for the car, an exposure for the background, and then putting them together. I don't think I did that. I think I only did focus. Let's see. I've got all these pictures here that I took. Got just different angles. See, the background's in focus on that one. Car's in focus on that one. I've tried to stack images before and I don't know what I'm doing. I know that you can select these and hit merge, HDR merge. Don't exactly know how to do it in Photoshop. I know that I could probably look it up real quick, but that's not what the video is about. The video is about seeing if you can be unprepared, take a picture, see how it comes with the sunset and everything, see what you can make out of it. So we're gonna use probably this picture. There just seems to be a good amount of focus on the car. The background's not too bad, but we've got a lot of stuff in the background that I want to get rid of. I don't like the power lines. I don't like the lampposts. I don't like this gas station that you can't really see. So first things first, let's bring the shadows up. If you hold Control and move the shadows, I meant Alt. If you hold Alt and do the shadows, you can see where they are. I'm going to bring shadows all the way up. For highlights, same thing. I'm going to bring them down. If you bring it all the way up, you can see where they need to be. But if you have an overexposed sky like I do, but the car looks fine in that. If you do that and move the highlights to where you can just see the headlights, the car looks fine. But that is the most blown out background I've seen. I think what I'm going to try to do is edit it to where the sky looks good, and then I can go in Photoshop and edit the car, bring it up a little bit better. Highlights down, shadows all the way up just to see what we're working with, and then go exposure. Let's brighten it up just a little bit. Don't want it to be too bright because I'm kind of going for a dark feel on this one. Contrast, honestly, where it was fine to me. Next up, color. I want to bring some of the blues out, so I'm actually going to raise the temperature a little bit. Okay. Vibrance. I know that if I can go crazy, it's going to actually make the car look grainy, so you don't want to do that. I'm going to go up +7, something small, something under 10. Saturation I'm not going to mess with because I'm going to do color mixer individually. First step, if you guys have been watching my other video, the blue. If you take the blue all the way out, you got to be careful because now it looks black and white. It looks like I photoshopped a black and white picture and did one of those color pop things. It just doesn't look good, in my opinion. If you bring the blue all the way out, if you leave the blue where it is, it just looks, in my opinion, too natural. It looks like an iPhone picture, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it looks like an unedited picture. I'll bring the blues out all the way and then come up a little bit to where the car actually begins to look realistic again. So there. So -50. You may not think that's much of a difference, but if you go to there to -50, there's quite the difference. So I'm going to put that at -50. Luminance, that is just basically the white balance or the brightness of the color. So I can make those blues, even though there's no blues in it anymore, really white, black, whatever. I'm just going to leave them where they are. Next step, let's get the sun looking a little bit, or the sky looking a little bit more orange. Luminance of that, going to bring it down a little bit just to contrast the clouds. Yellows, don't see a ton of yellows in the sky where it is, but I want to bring those up. Don't know if I want to go more. That's actually not bad, making them look a little green. Luminance down, again, to contrast those shadows of the clouds. Did orange, red. There's not too much red in this, to be honest. It's just around the sun. I'm gonna make it purple. Again, just playing around. Don't know. I didn't have a vision for this when I pulled over. I just thought it was a pretty looking sun and wanted to get a picture of it. And that's totally fine if that's what you want to do. So there seems to be some purple around here. Let's see much purple. There's purple in the clouds right there. See them? That's around this area. I'm gonna leave purple basically where it is. Magenta/pink, whatever. Don't see much of that either. So I'm gonna leave the color where it is. I think the color's okay from where we came. It may be a little overdone, but whatever, doesn't matter. It's whatever you want it to be. I think it's a little overdone in my opinion, but I can always just bring that saturation down right here and fix all that just a little bit. Keep the colors, just make it look like it was not edited on an iPhone or an Android in 1997. Vignette, I always add a little bit because it's just my, not trademark, but I always add it to my pictures. I don't know why. I like it. I'm gonna add clarity to the car. Once again, you can use a radial gradient and just highlight the car like this, or reset everything where I was working on a picture earlier. And you can do that and add clarity, or you can paint it with the brush. I'm just gonna do it the lazy way because I don't feel like painting it. Feather is gonna be how hard the lines are. So you can see that there. Feather, if you bring it all the way up, is like that. So what I usually do is bring the feather all the way, if I'm using these gradient, and cover the whole car. Then I will reset the exposure, bring the feather up to about, there you go. You got clarity added on your car. Originally, I think we're doing a lot better. I think we've got a longer way to go if I wanted to actually use this picture. I don't think it's a bad picture by any means though. Another radial gradient that you can use is coming from the sun. You can kind of do one of these and add exposure from wherever the light's coming from. Let's see. Let's actually use one of these. Flip it over. So I'm covering the whole sky now. What you can do there is easily change the exposure of the sky or background or whatever you're doing. Now that's obviously I'm going to an extreme when I do that, but it helps if you want to edit just something in the background quicker. It's not quicker. The more precise way to do it would be on Photoshop, obviously, or zoom in and carefully brush everything. Just trying to give you guys quicker tips here on how to do it. Again, quick doesn't necessarily mean good, but if you're posting on Instagram, nobody's ever gonna zoom in and see all this. All I did was bring the brightness down a little bit in the sky. Let's see here. Again, I like to use one of these linear gradients, come up from the bottom, and I like to bring the exposure down and add texture. Again, it just seems like the front is a little bit more in focus than the back. Doesn't seem like you just focused on the car. It seems like there's some focus in the foreground as well. I'm not sure if there's too much more I want to do in Lightroom, so I think we're gonna head over to Photoshop and see what we can do there. First step, let's try to get rid of this light pole. You're gonna select your spot healing, make the size a little bit bigger than the actual thing you're getting rid of, so about like that. What I like to do is, there's a line here, there's trees here, there's sky here. I like to do it underneath, get rid of that. So where you've just got the trees, now the wing is gonna be the tricky part, but I seem to have got rid of it pretty easily. Then I go to the sky. I'm not doing this very well, but it should get rid of most of that light pole. There we go. We've got a few spots to touch up with it. Be careful sometimes when you're doing this. See, there's orange sky here, and then there's a cloud. Sometimes you will make your clouds look very funky. So let's see if we can get rid of some of this clutter here. I don't think that's honestly too noticeable. I don't think anybody's going to zoom in and say that's a weird thing. They're going to look at the car, they're going to see the background, they're going to focus on the car, and they're going to move on. It does look a little weird here. It looks weird here to me, but and if you're doing it also, it's going to look weird to you. Unless you watch this video, you're not going to know that there was anything there. Same thing with, hopefully, this car. We can get rid of these tanks here. I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see them. Let's make this smaller and get rid of some of this other stuff first. Get rid of this pole that somebody's hit. Let's get rid of this stuff that's gonna distract you from the car or the sunset. I don't want to get rid of the green light is, well, for one, ADD kicked in and I see this tower back here. Gonna get rid of that. Get rid of the top of this car. Okay, it retained the tanks, which is fine. Grab this quick selection tool. So make it smaller, highlight just the green, go to image, adjustments, brightness and contrast, and this pops up. I'm gonna bring the brightness down and then Control D. The only reason I did that is so that you are not focused on this green light. When you're looking at that, it can definitely pull your attention over here. So they're still there. Nobody's gonna look at that and say, he edited it out. All these power lines here, they're a little distracting, but they're okay. These tall ones, kind of want to get rid of them. Don't like them, they're very distracting. I think that If we get rid of these power lines here, I don't think anybody will think that it looks weird. We can just see. I'm gonna get rid of all these power lines. It's easy photoshopping the sky, easier than most things I would say, because clouds don't have a set shape that people realize or recognize. So if you end up making this cloud, for example, look weird, if you add or subtract, see, nobody's going to notice that that cloud wasn't supposed to look like that. So you do kind of what you want. It's not going to make that big of a difference if you quote unquote mess up the sky, unless you have hard lines, kind of like over here. I've got something funky going on. So let's try to get rid of these over here. What I'm gonna do is make it quite big, go over everything. See if I can just make this a little bit better. Not getting better, it's getting worse. That may be a put the logo here type situation. Let's see here. There's just a lot of green for some reason, and I guess maybe I can go back in Lightroom and edit this, take the green out of this. Image adjustment, hue and saturation. When this comes up, greens, bring the saturation down so it's less noticeable. No, that's going to be noticeable. See, because what I've done is if I bring the yellow out, then it's going to be a black and white portion of the sky. Let's just zoom out and see how bad it looks. I don't think it looks terrible. I think that I don't think there's anything I need to fix besides right here. I don't think I went over far enough. And right here, there's a hard line. I need to get rid of that. I don't remember if there was, I think that's where the tower was, I believe. Yeah, so where that tower was, no, actually it's not. That's just me getting rid of those power lines has done that. In this case, if you want to go back because you messed up, like I have over in this area, go back over here to the history brush. Now, if you've edited it in Lightroom, you'll be able to go right back to like it was, going to, oh yeah, there's a tower. So I'm gonna go right up to that, find where the lines are. Now that the sky looks okay, go back into our healing brush. Let's get rid of everything. How it looks. Terrible. Gotcha. So we need to go smaller. Remember how I told y'all you need to zoom in and be precise with it, because that's the better it'll look, and now I'm trying to cut it short. Alright, so I think I got rid of the tower for the most part successfully. So now we just need to get rid of these lines. Honestly, I think that looks a lot better. I don't think anybody's going to notice that. I took the car out. I don't think anything that stands out to me, especially when I put it on an iPhone screen. I've got a little bit of weirdness right here. I don't think anybody's going to see that. Let's work with this a little bit, see if we can get rid of these lines. So all I'm doing now is just making this back north. Yeah, so the reason it looks weird is I took out a pole that was holding the power lines, and so they changed direction with nothing on top. What I'm gonna do is just take the top of this pole out and make it a short pole. So don't want this pole there, don't want this stuff there. All right, so let's see how that looks. See if that looks a little bit more natural. Yeah, so I think that looks a lot better, because before there was a weird spot right here. I think maybe somebody will be able to tell that I cut the top of this pole off. So we've got our photoshopped picture. Now to move it back into Lightroom, and now we're back in Lightroom. We can tell a lot of what we did. I think we removed a lot of stuff. I think we're okay. There is how I edit that. So gonna jump out to the outro and I'll see you guys there. I appreciate you. If you want to hit like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys want for videos. Let me know if I did a bad job. Don't do that, actually. We need to not do that because I know I did a bad job. If you want me to do a specific video, if you want to do something else, if you want me to take you guys along on a photo shoot that I do, let me know. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Peace. All right. Appreciate you guys watching me mess up this picture. If you guys want me to edit one of your pictures, send it in. I'm going to do a whole series on this. Again, I'm learning as I teach you guys. If you guys want me to do background replacements, if you want me to try to figure out how to do bracketing and stacking and all of that kind of stuff, let me know. Totally will. If you guys want to do a photo shoot, hit me up. If you guys want me to bring you guys along, that some of you that aren't in Georgia, and we can go on a photo shoot. I can vlog as I'm doing it, show you guys the angles I get, how to use a polarizer. Just let me know. If you got any video ideas, put them down in the comments. Follow me on GhostW6, Ghosted Media. Check out my website. Just let me know if you guys want anything else. I'll see you guys later.